Between 1940 and 1950, the population of Chinese in the South more than doubled, from almost 5,000 people to over 10,000 people. And over the course of the next decade, Chinese store ownership was on the rise in Memphis, with 62 stores. During the same time period, the Black population only grew by 3.2% in the South. Hate crimes and discrimination towards Black people had only increased in the wake of slavery. Jim Crow laws continued to put restrictions on all minorities from attaining equal treatment under the law. But that didn't mean that all minorities were equal to each other. By 1954, a new fight for freedom began, and the threat it posed to the establishment was clear. The fight for civil rights grew across the nation between Black and white communities, and in the shadow of slavery and the Civil War, the South became particularly volatile. It became a focus for civil rights leader Martin Luther King Jr., who campaigned for the rights of the marginalized throughout the South, and specifically Memphis.
Well, I don't know what will happen now. We've got some difficult days ahead. I've seen the promised land. I may not get there with you, but I want you to know tonight that we as a people will get to the promised land.
Against this backdrop, conflict for the Chinese American people was felt on every side. Memphis remained a battleground for the white and Black community, laying the groundwork for a tragedy that would change Memphis and the nation forever.
Good evening. Dr. Martin Luther King, the apostle of nonviolence in the civil rights movement, has been shot to death in Memphis, Tennessee.
Following the assassination of Martin Luther King, several businesses were targeted. Most of the Chinese businesses were located in Black neighborhoods. The grocery stores in the Black neighborhoods were looted, firebombed, or armed robbery. Sometimes robbery resulted in murder.
I think that most of what they experienced was an apprehension or a feeling that their survival was at stake.
There was huge concern for their livelihood. Should they stay in business? Should they close? And I think in the end, most of the Chinese businesses did continue, hoping to ride out the storm.
The history of the city of Memphis is deeply intertwined with the history of race in our country. And that history is around a binary of Black versus white. Older generations did not think of that time as a moment of conflict for Chinese Americans. I think many people were just trying to survive and trying to sustain life. And so they kept their heads down, they didn't make waves. People still experienced the fear and the pain, but I don't think that people felt like they had a place to speak on those experiences.
That time was a time of terror because there was lots and lots of firebombs, looting, robberies, murders, and things as well.
That's your story your whole life and your livelihood, and you lose it all. One night arrives and you lose everything.
Our grocery store actually got looted twice, broken into and burglarized. We had 3 large picture windows that were like 6 feet by 8 feet, and they broke 2 of them.
I was quite young, 11, 12. The family near our store, he was firebombed about 5 times, and it got to the point where he couldn't get any insurance. Why did they pick on his store? Because our store was just a block away, and there was another Chinese store up the street from his store.
One of our good friends was killed in a robbery during that time. I was probably 25 years old at the time. My father-in-law was robbed, and the robbery took him to the back room and had his wife and him lay down in the bed, and he took a pillow to muffle the shot. He killed my father-in-law. I was so scared, so frightened. The Chinese were well aware of the danger. We were well aware of the prejudice against the blacks. We were also well aware of the prejudice against the Chinese.
Because of the Chinese stores located in poor or black neighborhoods, I think it was an easy target for the blacks to vent their anger on the Chinese. I think it was not vengeful against the Chinese people themselves, but it was just an easy target to pick on a store.
That's when my dad decided it was just really too dangerous for us to stay there. And he said it was time to get out of the grocery business.
It's because of what they experienced that now we can ask different questions about that time and our relationship to that history. To be Chinese in Memphis is to acknowledge that we have benefited from systems of oppression while also making space for the challenges that we've experienced.